This is one of those funny stories about the pot calling the kettle black that reflects the total blind hyperpartisanship that is one of the most toxic elements of politics today. Donald Trump Jr. is calling out the Bidens for nepotism. It sounds like satire. It sounds like an Onion article. Now, I don't want to redo this because I've already done it. I've not ignored the totally toxic nature of the political status quo that leads to someone like Hunter Biden, Joe Biden's son, to have a $50,000 a month consulting contract with a Ukrainian gas company. I did an entire story about this last week or the week before. There is no question that this is exactly the type of thing that is endemic to our political system. It's the revolving door of elected officials and lawyers and lobbyists and consultants, including both themselves and their family members and their significant others. We need to root it out. It's a problem, there is no question. Now, that being said, there was nothing particularly egregious about the Hunter Biden consulting gig in the sense that Trumpists have been arguing, the conspiratorial way. This is the system we have. It's a disgusting system. It's a corrupt system. It has to be changed, but it's business as usual. But then Donald Trump Jr. goes on Twitter and says Biden's career, Hunter Biden's career, is based just on his dad's, and that's bad and that's corrupt. His name is Donald Trump Jr., and he's saying that the name Biden, being a Biden, has put Hunter Biden in a privileged position. Has irony died? Take a look at this video clip from the Sean Hannity program, a very rehearsed Donald Trump Jr. trying to make this case.
When you're the father and your son's entire career is dependent on that, they own you, Sean. That's what it is. They've bought Biden Inc., and they've been doing it both domestically, whether it was MBNA Bank, whether it was Amtrak, whatever it was, domestically when he was a senator and had influence over domestic policy, and they started doing it internationally the second Joe Biden became vice president and had authority abroad.
Donald Trump Jr. is criticizing someone else for having a career built on their name and their father's name. So there are two options here. One is that Don Jr. is genuinely so dumb that he just doesn't realize that his critique of Joe and Hunter Biden is relevant 10 times over about him and Eric Trump and Ivanka Trump in relation to Donald Trump Sr., the president of the United States. That's one possibility. The other possibility is he does get it, but he assumes Sean Hannity's audience and his dad's followers are so dumb that they won't notice the obvious hypocrisy of him, Donald Trump Jr., criticizing Joe and Hunter Biden of nepotism. The funny thing is that this is actually something that Don Jr. is an authority on. You know, I said last week we covered Lara Trump, who's the wife of Eric Trump, being brought onto Fox News to comment on Syria. What does Lara Trump know about Syria and the Kurds? Absolutely nothing. Don Jr. actually is an expert on nepotism and how to use your father's name to get money and speaking gigs and build a career. He's done it. He is the right person to be commenting about it. The problem is he's commenting about it as if it's a problem he's observing rather than something he's an example of. And of course, that irony is not lost on many of the leftists who have seen what has gone on here. Hunter Biden was paid $50,000 a month to consult for a Ukrainian gas company. Is that a gig he would have had if he wasn't Joe Biden's son? Of course not. Of course not. Donald Trump Jr. is making millions from the presidency of his father, is in a privileged and powerful position where he, more Ivanka Trump, they're meeting with world leaders. They're sometimes sitting in for their dad, who is the president of the United States. Would they have that if they weren't Donald Trump's son? Obviously not. And this is a complete lack of self-awareness, made even more cartoonish by the fact that his name is literally the same name as his dad, right? Hunter Biden, Joe Biden, Donald Trump Jr. If having the same last name as a former vice president is lucrative, what about having just literally the same name as the current president of the United States? My question to you is, and I don't know the answer to this, is Don Jr. dumb enough that he doesn't realize the irony of what he's saying? Or is he smart enough to realize it, but he just thinks the people watching Sean Hannity are too stupid to figure it out? Let me know by either commenting on this video on YouTube or by sending me a tweet at @dpakman. We will take a quick break and be back after this to talk about the best thing that has ever happened to Tulsi Gabbard. Okay? If you've been paying attention to the news over the last few days, maybe you know what it is. It relates to Hillary Clinton. That's coming up next. Today's program brought to you in part by Blinkist.com/Pakman. Blinkist is a great service that I use all the time. What they do is they take thousands of the most popular nonfiction books, including the newest bestsellers. They condense them into 15-minute audiobooks that you can listen to, and you still get the most crucial information and insights from each book. And I've listened to a ton of books on Blinkist. I recently checked out Soccernomics by Simon Cooper. We do have, after all, the World Cup going on recently. We also have been talking about BS Jobs, and there is a great new book, BS Jobs by David Graeber, which I listen to on Blinkist. They're constantly adding new books to the platform. You will never run out of fascinating and critically acclaimed books to enjoy. And our audience can get a 7-day free trial by going to Blinkist.com/Pakman. If you're watching on YouTube, I'm putting a link in the video description. And after the free trial, if you like it, you can continue enjoying thousands of condensed audiobooks for about $5 a month. That's BLINKIST.com/PAKMAN.